Alright, Tony's dying. We're on deck profile number 4. And this
Deck
deck
profile 3 didn't work out, so I'll get back to that later. But
yeah, but technically this is the 4th one we're filming, and this one is Unchained.
Yes,
Something a lot of people have been asking for.
Yeah, people seem to really like this deck. So this is the deck I worked on continuously throughout my entire quarantine. But honestly, it is the most fun. Ever since Edco released, the deck changed its playstyle a lot, and I'll get into that as I do the profile. So
how's your breathing right now?
It's getting there.
Guys, trust me, with these masters, it's not that hard to breathe, but when you're doing back-to-back deck profiles...
I think I need to speak slower.
Yeah, alright. But anyways, take your time. Do your thing.
Alright. So, we're going to start off with the support that initially came in the original set.
Yep.
The 2 Unchained Twin Aruha, the 2 Unchained Tan Requia, and the 2 Unchained Soul Disaster.
Yep.
So, the Unchained Twins all have 2 shared effects. 1, a destruction effect, and 2, a float effect. This one says you can special summon yourself from the hand by destroying 1 card you control. This one has a quick effect, destroys 1 card you control.
Okay.
They all have an effect where if they're destroyed, they float into an Unchained monster from the deck or hand. Unchained Twin Disaster is your big boy in the original deck. It has 2 effects. 1, it lets you target 1 monster it controls, and link away with itself and that monster to summon a Dark Link monster from your extra deck.
Yep.
It also has the effect where if it's destroyed, you can special summon 1 Unchained monster from your graveyard. Generally, the bigger issue with this card is that it was kind of a brick. It was also a really awkward pick. This thing has no attack, and neither of these things have big attack either. What that means is that you were forced to link climb into more Unchained monsters to hopefully make a Link 4 at some point in your combo.
So the deck was a lot slower before.
It was slow, but it was also it just didn't have a lot of substance.
Okay.
You can climb into this, but this would lose to a unicorn, and then your combo was done.
Yeah.
And you never really wanted to use the effect because the floating effect seemed better than the Link Away effect at times.
Yep.
So honestly, and that made it so that the deck really didn't have a lot of like grinding power going forward.
I sense a butt.
Butt is coming, yes. See, with the support in Echo, they released 2 cards that really change how this deck works and just makes it a lot better. The first is the first Unchained Twin. Unchained Twin Sarama. So, like the other Unchained Twins, it has a destruction effect and a float effect.
Yep.
The float effect, same as the other one. If it's destroyed, you float into an Unchained monster from your hand or deck. The destruction effect is really cool, though. You can target 1 Unchained card in your graveyard, set it to your field, and then blow up a card on you control.
Okay.
So that means that unlike these 2, which require you to have active additional resources, this one is a free pop on its own. Additionally, it lets you reuse your spell and traps, which is really nice.
Yep.
There's actually a cool combo where if you open this and if you open one of these and a way to pop, you can get a +2 combo.
Oh, nice.
I'll get into that later.
It's just something the deck didn't have before.
Yeah, so now for the first time, you actually have combos that don't make you go neg, and that's really nice.
Okay.
The other important thing, however, that I feel the need to point out is that unlike Rakia and Aruha, which are fire and water, this is a dark level 3 fiend monster. And that means we have Skarms in play.
Wait, are you playing Tour Guide as well or no?
No, I'm not playing Tour Guide. So I took out once these came in, I started using the extra deck less, so didn't feel the need to have that in.
Okay, that makes sense.
The other card that's important, however, is this one, the Abominable Unchained Soul.
Yep.
I just call him Cuck because this name is hard to pronounce at the mask. So from now on, this is all you need. You have Cuck. So Cuck, what does he do? A lot of things.
Cuck.
Cuck can do a lot of things. First off, number 1, he's an Unchained monster.
Yep.
Great. That means all your twins float into him.
Yep.
2, he's an Unchained Soul monster. You can make your X-Deck monster with him. 3, he can special summon himself from the hand if a card you control is destroyed, which means he's never dead in hand like the other Soul.
Yep.
4, when he's summoned, you can discard a card from your hand, non-targeting destroy any card on the field, which is just removal on the field. That's great. 5, he has 3,000 attack. Unlike the weenie boy that is this thing can actually deal damage on the board. You can get him out. You get him out with any number of these cards, and once he hits the board, you're going to be swinging hard with him and only him.
Nice.
So now this deck has like a boss monster that can go into all the time, and this is how you're going to be playing this game.
Yep.
You're going to summon a bunch of these, and you're going to swing with him. What makes this even better, however, is that the last effect is if this card would be destroyed, on the end phase of the turn it's destroyed, it comes back. But then it goes back to the bottom of the deck if it leaves the field.
So this card's insane for the deck.
This card's insane. Not only will you never run out of this card, it comes back twice. Granted, you can only special summon this card once, but if this lives past a turn, your opponent now has to get rid of it twice.
Yeah.
And when it comes back, since it comes back as a special summon, it blows up another card that way as well.
Nice.
So, great card, fantastic card. From there, we have still the only Dark Spirit now. This is the only Dark Spirit I played. The other one was better when I needed to make link plays. This one is better just because before I could summon back Disaster, and he could block with that.
Yep.
Now I could summon this in attack position and actually kill creatures unexpectedly.
Yep.
So, fantastic card there. The Skyrim was already mentioned, and then I actually went back to playing hand traps for a bit.
Wait. So why? So the Skarm, you summon it like early. Like what's the playability of Skarm? Like,
So there's a number of ways to get Skarm in the graveyard. For one, when you summon this, you have to discard a card to pop some. You can discard the Skarm if you open it.
Yeah.
It works. You could set it and then blow it up with one of your twins. Trifectally, I also play support that gets this card in the grave. You don't want to play many of these because you don't want to generally prick with this. But having the one to search into your Sarama to
Extra
continue
utility,
plays is good.
Okay, that makes sense.
From there, we play 3 Ghost Ogre. It's the only hand trap that does have still synergy with this deck. Again, I have ogred my own Rakia once. I've actually ogred my Rakia and my Sarama just so that I can like summon monsters off that way and change their effects, which is really cool. But ultimately, this card actually can be a show end, like a play ender. Yep. I've ogred like Needle Fibers and stopped combos that way.
Yeah, it's still a good hand trap.
Yeah.
Like worst case scenario, it's a hand trap. Or actually, it's still always going to be a hand trap. But
I once ogred a Union Carrier targeting itself, and that was great.
Yeah.
I felt real happy about myself
it could
there.
Be really good.
So that's the monsters. From there, we move on to the spells. We have 3 Abominations Prison. The Versatile Searcher. You search for any Unchained card, but if it's destroy while it's set, you can also special summon one Unchained card from your monster from your deck.
Yep.
Then we have 2 Fury of the Karyushin. This card came out in that Season 1 thing, so we get it a bit early, but the idea is it searches Torrential Tribute. Nice. It also has a fun effect where if a water monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish it. But then I have to ask, why would you banish your own... Why would you protect your own Rakia?
Yeah, you wouldn't do that. But technically...
You can. It's just because you can. Yeah. Then we play 3 Pot of Extravagance. Because you don't need to go into the extra deck more, because now you'll just be making this guy, you'll be making Cuck all the time.
Speaking of Extravagance... This is the one deck profile that you have 15 in the extra deck.
Yeah, this is the only time I'll condone 15, because you do need to actually have like more cards just so Extravagance can resolve sometimes.
Okay. So this is the one time you can have 15.
Yeah, I still don't support it. I actually don't think you even have 15 in here, but just assume I do.
Alright. We'll just assume you have 15 for now.
But yeah, but this card will let you draw into your combo pieces more, so you can get Cuck out and start slapping your opponent with your Cuck.
Nice. That's really weird to say, but sure.
Look
how proud you are of saying that.
Yeah, no,
that's
one pun a day, man.
Alright.
Then we have the traps. We have the 3 Escape of the Unchained.
Nice.
The 3 Abominable Chamber of the Unchained.
Yep.
And the 3 Torrential. I think a lot of decks have started converting into this idea.
This is so spicy, the Torrential.
Oh, the Torrential is hilarious, especially when you combine it with Trap Trick, too.
Oh my, this guy has everything.
So here's what happens. These 2 are great. This one is a Reborn. This one is like a Reborn for your deck. It's a Call of the Haunted. Now, before, I can call back Haunted this and protect my board, sure. But now, on my opponent's turn, I can call the Haunted this and pop a card.
Cuck will never leave the field.
Cuck will never... You can shrink down a Cuck. Cuck will come back. This one is just a straight Regeki brick. You target one of your monsters, you target one of your opponent's monsters, cards, blow up both.
Nice.
But because if you're blowing up a twin, you can summon this and then blow up another card. It's a 2-card pop now.
Nice.
Torrential is the fuck it button you need. Sometimes your opponent goes off, and they go off hard. And sometimes you just need a way to say, no, we're done, stop. And this is how you're going to do it. Torrential is just, you flip it up, you nuke the board, but since your monsters float, you're putting an advantage on the board through so. It works even well with Trap Trick, because now you can chain to a summon with Trap Trick, set the Torrential, there's summon resolves, and then you just activate Torrential immediately.
Still stupid.
And that just clears the board really well, but it's, again, because your deck floats, it works out for you.
Okay, yeah, synergizes really well.
Finally, we play through 2 Fiend Grieving. This is how you can trigger Skarm and other funny plays.
Nice
You can
yeah.
target one monster your opponent's graveyard, shuffle it back into the deck. Then, you can send 1 level 3 Fiend to the graveyard. You don't have to, but you can. This does a lot of things. One, against the Eldest matchup, you just shuffle back the Lord, and then that makes them feel sad.
It's like a pseudo...
It's a
like
DD Crow, but it's a DD Crow that also lets you dump a Skarm, or at worst, you can also dump the Spirit of Banishment.
Oh, yeah.
I have actually one time dumped... I've dumped Cuck once to the graveyard just so I can have one in the grave to do things. But honestly, just because of the effect, it works out.
It just sends any fiend to the
graveyard. It sends any fiend to the graveyard.
Oh, nice.
Most times you'll just be sending Skarm because then next turn you have a follow-up by searching into this.
Yeah.
And this can just continue its plays all on its own.
Yep.
And that itself is the... there's also 3 Imperm in here. I wish I knew where they were, but yeah, there's 3 Imperm in here. Okay, you don't play this deck without Imperm.
Okay, so there's Imperm somewhere.
Yes.
I'm gonna add it onto the screen in 3, 2, 1. Alright.
Yes. Alright, moving on to the extract. This isn't 15, but assume that it is.
Okay.
We play the 1 number 22 Zombie Stain.
Yep.
Sometimes you just need a beater. If you have 2 level 8s, you can make this. You have the 1 Wee Witch Apprentice. Just a link you can make.
Yep.
With you have the 1 Trisbana. Sometimes you can actually just nuke spells that way.
Nice.
You have Zerbo. Sometimes you can nuke everything this way. You have Bomber. Sometimes you can nuke everything and burn this way. You have 2 Solar Rage, you can put 1 more in because of extravagance. Because this will be probably the only one you make.
Okay.
You'll be making Rage, maybe even with a Cuck, and Rage will link on your opponent's turn to make an Anguish, which you can also play 3 of. And then Anguish will eventually link away one of your opponent's monsters to make Rage again, and you just loop with this.
So, funny enough, Abomination is not the best one in this deck.
Abomination is good now more because you can flow back into Cuck. You
Okay,
can summon this, get a run over, summon back Cuck. That's really what it is.
Because I remember before, Abomination wasn't, it's a good card, but it's not the greatest in this deck.
Yes, like, I still play the one Abomination. He's strong, but this goes back to that problem with the deck. You never want to summon a Link 4 by climbing all the way up this way.
Yeah.
Because this is a process of 3 turns. You have to, A, summon this on your turn. Link it away an opponent's monster to summon this, which can only link away your opponent's monster on their turn.
Yeah.
Then, that makes this, which can only link away an opponent's monster on your turn.
So they're like bad quick plays.
They're like, it takes too long to make a board, and then you make this, and then your opponent goes summon Unicorn, summon and that, and just runs it over. And then you have no way of like making use of this.
That makes sense.
So at the end of the day, you make this just because you can use Disruption to go back into itself. But honestly, you make this more when you have to do it, not because you want to do it.
Okay.
And like that's just the general structure of the side extra deck. I think there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 extra deck cards in here too.
So the other 5 are gonna be like Nightmare. Man, your extra deck is getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it's shrinking. It's shrinking like my volume, like my lungs right now.
It
But
literally shrinks.
But the idea is like you play what a Unicorn. You can play
Phoenix.
as long as it's a Dark Link monster.
Oh, okay, Dark.
Just for the sake that sometimes you can still use Unchained Soul Disaster's effect. As long as it's a Dark Link monster, you can play it.
Can you make Ballsword with it?
No. So there's the weird thing that a lot of people seem to misunderstand. When it says that Soul Disaster in these cards lets you link away with your opponent's monster, it doesn't mean make a Link monster. You have to perform a Link summon.
Oh, okay.
Which means you still have to meet the summoning conditions of the monster. But outside of that, it's pretty easy. Have been times, however, where I summoned this, target a Link 3, and just turn this into an Abomination.
Is access code dark or light?
You can make access code.
Oh, okay. So you can put access code in there then.
You can put access code in here. Granted that there's not a lot of times where you make access code, like barely.
But technically, you can.
Yeah.
You have 5 spots. So
there was
Dark Link monsters.
There was that hilarious time where I had a Rage on board, targeted a Link 2 that floated. I made access code and I chain blocked them.
Oh yeah. Okay. See, that's really good, right? So, yeah, you have 5 more cards to play with. 5 Dark Link monsters essentially.
See, the reason why I didn't put like everything in the extra deck because at the end of the day, the extra deck hardly matters as much as you think it does.
Well,
With
I mean, it's mostly extravagance, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
extravagance. But the idea is that you'll win better just because this stays on the field.
Okay,
This card puts so much pressure for your opponent that like combined with the traps, your opponent still has to deal with this. And there's not a lot of 3K beaters that could run over this.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, so just for people who are watching, if they wanted to play this with like a side deck, right? Because you have 5 spots in the extra deck still available, could you play like super poly targets potentially?
You can put in super poly targets if you want. Like I honestly, the remaining 5 is outside of a Unicorn, which is semi-mandatory.
Okay, so Unicorn.
Everything
so 4.
else is just like even like the current extra deck cards I showed you. You didn't have to play Zombie's Theme. You didn't have to play Witch's Apprentice. All those are just more because you can.
Okay.
So your deck can be like all like super poly targets, all like anti-burn targets if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And in terms of side deck itself, things I do recommend for the side deck, you can play things like you can play like there can be only one because your deck you just float into the cuck and then you sit on that.
Yeah.
You can play Skill Drain because even with the effects, it's still a 3K beater.
Yeah.
You can play cards like if you really wanted to, like you play the extra Fiend Grieving. You can also try this card out, Dark Spirits Mastery, because there's searches into it, but I wouldn't recommend it. And you could also even play more of the Dark Spirits, but essentially this deck is pretty versatile and floats really well.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for that profile. Last one of the day, so yeah, you can finally take a break. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed watching Tony suffer through these deck profiles, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't worry, Tony's gonna be doing more. This is just all we have for today.
Yeah, eventually I'll port some stuff over to my own channel. Honestly, I just haven't found a good time and motivation to film.
Yeah,
it's harder to film on my own because I think if I'm going to be serious here, I'm too self-conscious of myself. I self-judge this. When I did this deck on my own, it was a 50-minute video.
Okay, guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tell Tony that he's good at this stuff and to stop overthinking it because he's good at. Obviously, he's really good at this. So tell him to do that in the comment section down below. And we don't even have a name for your channel yet, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come. I promise. And then he promises to. He just won't say it. So thank you guys for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. And with that, Spanko signing out. Peace.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this. Cross my shit.